Hi, this is Sarah, the Stitchin Mommy, and it's Tuesday, March 7th, 2023, here for my weekly cross-stitching update. Smokey joined me early today, so she's already taking a nap, like where I usually put all my stuff. So I have to move all my stuff, because she's still here. So anyways, thought that was funny. Let's get into it. I had a pretty good stitching week. I managed to stitch every day, which was not guaranteed because I had company this weekend, so that was nice to be able to get at least a little bit of stitches in every day. Not a ton, not what my usual weekend looks like, but that's okay. Let's start with my temperature piece on my travel stitching. So this one I work on Sunday mornings to and from church because we live about 20 to 25 minutes away from church. So I have, as a passenger, I have that time to stitch. So that's fun. This is 25 count vintage cloth in the color Prim, 1/1 full cross, and finished February and started March. And I got a lot more of this lightest color. So fun. Because it was cold. And like I said last week, half the town got snow last Saturday and we didn't, so I was very sad. However, on Wednesday, we got snow and it didn't stick, but we got to see it. There were big fluffy flakes at one point, so pretty. We don't usually get that around here, so that was a treat. And it was close to the kids' lunch break at school, and they let them out as well when it started snowing. So all the kids got to go outside on the, out playground and whatnot to see it as well, even though they were at school. So, but then we all went back to normal. Nothing stuck. It wasn't warm enough for that, or it wasn't cold enough for that, but very fun. So I got to have a little bit of snow experience and several of the coldest colors. So that it's kind of a fun February where it had some warmth up here and then got really cold. And the first day of March was also my coldest color, which was crazy. So in like a lion, I guess, out like a lamb, most likely. Usually that phrase that goes along with March is more indicative of February in Southern California than it is March, because usually we have our cold weather in January and February, and then by the end of February, March is like fully, spring is fully here. Not so this year. So it's been fun to have a little bit longer winter because we don't tend to have much of that usually. So that was enjoyable. Let's see, when did I get this out? I worked on my antique shoe collection for travel stitching in the pickup lines and things. This one is one of my oldest projects. It's the one I'm currently designating my oldest project, even though I don't know amongst like 3 of them which one is actually oldest. I've broken it up into 12 sections and I'd like to get it done this year. So the section for February was this shoe right here, complete with back stitching. So I had more time to work on it this month than I did in January, which was nice. So when I started working on this here in February, I was finishing January's section and then started on February section. So I managed to finish February section. Where did I put it? On Wednesday. So no, I finished the cross stitches. Where did I put that? I don't think I wrote it down. I think it was Friday. I finished the February shoe on Friday. I went ahead, I was officially supposed to switch over to my Whip Go pieces on March 1st and bring this back out when the Whip Go pieces for March were done, but I was so close to finishing this, I just wanted to get it done and have that goal checked off. So I went ahead and did that and stitched on it a few extra days into March and got it done on Friday. So here is where this is at. This is all the kit items. 14 count, antique white Aida, 2/1 full cross, and 1 strand of backstitch. And I got this shoe all finished. So that's pretty fun. very colorful. Once I had the blue in, you know, the rest of it went pretty fast because the counting right at the beginning was a little bit slow, but everything else went pretty quickly once I knew there was a structure in place. So yeah, that's fun. So March's goal, once I'm done with my WhipGo pieces, I'll come back to this, will be to finish this border, including the shelf here. So I've already started on the black in previous, you know, years. And there's more black checker all through here. There's also light gray, I believe, in between, and backstitching around the outside of it. Not in all the checks, but just around the outside, I'm pretty sure. So yeah. There's also like a hanger right here, but I might do that at the very end because there's one here and one down here where there's like a tassel coming off of this pin. And there's some thick gold cord that comes with this, and I'll wait on that because I don't want that to get caught on anything. So after March's thing border is finished, the whole top shelf will be done. That's really fun. So you won't see this for another couple weeks probably, but there's that. And then I did get a small start on my Advent animals. Not as much as I kind of expected to this week. Because I worked on this longer than I planned, and then we didn't have as much, we didn't watch our show as a family this weekend because we had company and things like that. So this is Hattie Hedgehog. I'm doing the Brooks Books Advent Animals, and this is one of the ones that was called for March on my WhipGo board. I have them all on there. All the ones I have left made it onto my WhipGo board. So I have 2 every month that I'm going to be working on. Here's where I got to on Hattie Hedgehog. So I decided to just pick the next color from the top down, which happened to be white. It seems like I'm often doing white first because there's usually a lot of white in these. This one doesn't have as much. She looks like she is very light and maybe has white in her, but it's really tans. So there's actually, once I'm done with the snow down here, the white's done. So that's fun, and I'll get to move on to some colors. There's like multiple shades of pinks and tans. It'll be a lighter thing, but yeah, anyways, it's cute. Got the start of the teacup and the teapot. 18 count Ada, 2/1 full cross, light blue Ada. So yeah, that's fun. I'll be working on that more this week. And oh yeah, Flea Market Flowers was my other one that I got February's goal done on Friday. So that was a banner day for my monthly goals because this is another one I had gotten it to the point where I had 12 of these blocks left. So I want to do one a month, get it done this year as well. So February's block was this one. March's is this one. So I've already gotten a tiny start on that one as well. Still have thread on my needle. And here is this one. 25 count vintage cloth in the color Barley. 1/1 full cross. This is the called for fabric, but I am doing mine 1/1. The pattern, I think it says 2/2, but that's not how I roll. I like the little stuff. So I got all the dark pink finished, and that finished up that block there in the middle, the biggest one, I think, the biggest block. Now I'm coming over here, I did a little bit of green and got started on that block while I was chatting with my sister on Friday. So hopefully this will be done before too long. And then I'll probably work on some borders to get it ready for the next few blocks. And then if I feel like I've done enough of that and I still have time, I'll pull out my antique shoe collection during my calls. So we'll see how that goes this month. I also worked one more length of thread on Snowman with Kitten on last Monday, the 27th of February, because it was still full coverage February, and I ended up having some extra time, so I thought, you know what, I'm gonna try to get one more length of thread in here for my daughter's sake. So this is a picture, or this is a project. Where is it? Here it is. That my daughter wants to do. The cat, at least. We've cropped it, so it's pretty close to just the main details there. And Sarah Summers' artwork by Pain Free Crafts. And I did one more length of thread here in the background. There's Smokey. I can pull my stuff closer now. There we go. Yeah, you can see her too. It's bath time, I guess. Where is it? Here it is. So here is this one. This is 18 count white Ada, 2/1 full cross. And just moving down the side there with one more length of thread. Not super impressive, but it's something. So probably won't pull this out again until she shows some more interest in it, which comes and goes. Mostly goes. She has, you know, a little bit of interest in cross stitching, but not a lot. So that's okay. Let's see, anything else? Oh yeah, one more like bonus piece that was kind of, well, actually no, there's two more. At the beginning of March, I had forgot to share this last week, but I had planned on it. I'd written it down. I just hadn't brought it up to share and totally forgot. The first of every month is supposed to be when I work on the Finery of Nature as my 30 minutes a day kind of piece. And so I remembered to do that and I brought it out. I started in the middle, worked my way up this last time, some green. So I worked on these blue flowers here and got the blue all done and one more length of green. So that was fun. This is a SAL hosted by eCrafting in Colorado. So I'm excited to kind of play along because I had just received this for my birthday. So I'm like, well, I guess I need to join in on that. So here's where this one is. Let's keep some of the white in there. Well, then maybe it'll, yeah, not blow out. So that's fun. I enjoyed that. That was really fun. There was, I think 2 or 3 lengths of, maybe, I think just 2 colors of blue. I may have needed more than 1 length of them, but there's like a solid blue and a blend. And then 1 more length of the green that I had used last time to kind of fill this out. There's 1 more shade of green in this section. And then I may do some back stitching next time on April 1st. We'll see. I don't remember. That might be something. Maybe that would be fine. I can't remember if I am busy that day or not. To be able to have bonus stitching. The back stitching and all this stuff is actually gold metallic, so it's going to be sparkly, which is really fun. But once I get this area, at least the cross stitches finished, possibly some back stitching, I'll start heading this way and work from the top down in this little square. That's kind of my plan. So yeah, got a little bit done on that. That was fun. This is all the kit, everything. It's black 14 count Ada. So it is nice actually working on this as my like afternoon stitch, the 30 minutes a day kind of time slot, because the light is still out and black fabric is notorious for being hard to see at night. So I get the added bonus of working on it in the afternoon. So that works out really nicely. And then going into March, I also pulled out my letter fairy, which is my new afternoon stitch here in the month of March and beyond. And until it's done, and then I'll pull in my next letter fairy that I'm going to work on. So I worked on this 3 times. 2, I think Thursday and Friday were the main times where I had like a long full yard of the fancy floss and did some of the curly cues here, half the length of thread on one day, half the length of thread on the other day. And then yesterday I wanted to work on it some more, and I was getting it all set up, and then my husband needed me for something, and my afternoon was gone. But I came back and I worked on it like maybe like 5 stitches, so not a whole lot, and I'll show you where that was, but teeny tiny bit yesterday. So hopefully I'll get back to this more regularly here. So this is where this is at now. It's the called for water lily linen, 32 count, 2/2 full cross, and then I'm converting the flosses to be a blue fairy, and the rest of it is close to what's called for, but is stuff I had on hand. I think a couple of them are the called for. I just happen to have them. Yeah, and my beads are also just converted to what I have as well. Things I've used in the other fairies and stuff like that. So I worked on this, got this brown swirl done, and then brought the rest of my thread down onto this side. There's a little bit more brown in this part of the swirl, and then obviously a lot more down the main trunk of the F. Then yesterday I brought my dark green out and did these little dots that are along the outside here. So that's all I did. I guess there's more like 10 stitches. Because when I pull this out next, obviously I'll finish this thread. It's still on my needle, but there's some more of that over here, I think. Anyways, we'll see where it is, but I want a bead next time because there's some beads over here in her wing, in her necklace, in these swirls, and on the hem of her dress, and around here. There's a lot of beads that I could do. And from what if you remember last time I beaded, I did like possibly all of this with one length of thread because I had the whole like 4-foot length of DMC. I believe it's the color 503, no, 503 is the dark one. 524, I think. I think is the one that matches the fabric. So I just used DMC, matches the fabric. You can do it for all the beads, and I just went to town till the thread ran out, and it went a long way. This is kind of in the background. There we go. So I wanted to wait until I had a lot of beading to do again, and I do. So I'll kind of start here and maybe work my way this way, kind of diagonally down, because all this stuff is ready for beads. So that'll be fun. So once I finish this string next time, I'll be able to bead. So that'll be nice. I like to bead as I go when I have a nice chunk ready to go, ready to bead. So that'll be fun. I think there's a few more backstitched lines. Yeah, around the curly Q of the F there that I might do as well before I start to bead. But maybe this week, so that would be fun if I could get to that this week. I think that was everything like bonusy, and the rest of it is my like official regular project for the day. First, I did one more rotation on Bear Time Stories. Feels like a forever ago. I forgot I worked on all these. Here's this one. It's a Heaven and Earth Designs by Randall Spangler. And this is the mini. It's so cute. Working on this from my middle son. And I got 533 stitches on this on last Monday, the 27th of February. So that's fun. So here is this one. This is on 40 count Vertil 1/1 half cross. So I worked over here and kind of filled this in with the darkest, not the darkest, the color with the most stitches, which is 814, I believe. So I thought it would be fun to go through and fill in that color everywhere it appears to get a little, even more structure going than I already have. And then I might go back and start color completing from the least to the most number of stitches per color. So to kind of knock out confetti and things like that. So I think that's my plan. I'll continue to work on this once a month. So it's going to come out in 2 weeks because I have like my family Mondays. So it'll come out on the 20th. I have it written down. So I'll bring it out once a month and see, just chip away at it, that color until it's done. And then I'll go back through and on Pattern Keeper, it shows you how many stitches you have left of each color. So I'll do the least to the most at that point. I've already finished 1 or 2, I think. Some of those greens in the dragon might be done, maybe. Then let's go back to my plans in my notebook. Then I worked on Visit Endor one more time, which is what I'm doing for my older son. Those were my 2 that I was stitching on to finish out my full coverage February. So this is this one by Country Magic Stitch. And I bought mine on Etsy, and I thought I heard somebody say recently she has her own website now. So if you just Google Country Magic Stitch, see where it takes you. But she has a bunch of fandom, very simple full coverages. So there's only 11 colors in this. It's not crazy. And there's Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, you know, Harry Potter, all that sort of thing. So it's fun. I worked on this for 348 stitches. I'm trying to think what I did. Here's this one. This is 28 count Dove Gray Monaco, 2 over 1 half stitches. Like, totally forgot all the details. Think I did some more of the light blue. I did this one. I think this is what I did. I think I came down here and filled this in, and that's all there will be here. It's like the gap between the tree trunks that will go this way. This is a shadow or a highlight on this tree trunk. And there's another tree trunk right here. And so this is some sky in between the tree trunks. And I believe this is the start of like the hill, because it's a different green than the trees. So it's like the grassy part starts there. And then I went over and started filling in more of the light blue under there as well. This will be some more of the other colors of blue up here. So this one will also come out again once a month. And I believe this is the next family piece I have scheduled. So it'll be coming out on the 13th, so next Monday. But probably not before I see you again. I probably should be able to film on Monday again next week. So this will not be, it'll be on the schedule for after my video, next Monday. So there's that one. Then I started to work on my focus for a finish piece that I chose for March, which is my chatelaine. Where's the cover? This is the chatelaine that I chose. It's a Winter Wonderland band sampler. And they also have Summer Garden, maybe, band sampler. I have that one too, but I have not started that one. So I would love to finish this. It's still a good amount of work, so we'll see. This week will be a main push for this. We'll have 5 days on it this week, so, and 1 more next week, and that will give me a full 10. So worst case, I'll get it close to a finish and I'll finish it next year. Medium case, I'll get it close to a finish and fill it in any empty spaces I have throughout the year and try to finish it at some point later this year. Best case, I finish it here in these 10 days. So it'll be one of those. So anyways, I'm hopeful though, because I really enjoyed working on this, and what was it? I think it was Sunday. I was mentally like, okay, if I have time to stitch, I'm going to pull this out and do this part of my project. And then I realized that's not my project for Sunday. I have my seasonal Sunday piece. I'm like, oh, I want to work on my band sampler. So that's a good thing that I'm really enjoying it. And so that will motivate me to bring it out more, to not get distracted by things. And hopefully that will be a good thing and I can get it done. That would be fantastic. So here is where this got to this week. So this is on the ice blue 32 count Belfast linen. This is the recommended fabric that European Cross Stitch suggested. The cover picture I think looks darker, but this is what they suggested. So I was like, well, I'll go with it. And the white still shows up on it, so I'm happy with that. So I finished this little scene right here. There were, I still had yet to stitch these little birds completely. And then, did I already have? I may have needed to stitch the snow as well. And then I brought the borders down, including along here. And this string that I had kept going down and started to go down into the bottom little area, which is fun because now I can kind of see how big the fence is going to be and gives me a, you know, kind of a structure for that. Then I did these backstitched like little flowers, and this is a specialty stitch with one color of dinky dyes, and it variegates real nicely. Both these specialty stitches and these large X's were done in that Daintree by Dinky Dyes, so it's really fun. It's like a pale periwinkle, sage green kind of thing. And then there's some beads in between these satin stitch snowflakes, and then these are some gold eyelets that are in between these X's. There will also be some beads through here. So my next plan today, I guess, I get to work on this some more, will be to put the beads in here, and then I get to start stitching the fence. And I may do one more length of border at some point as well, sooner than later, to kind of have an outline of the whole fence area. And most of the fence is full crosses, so it is thickly stitched though. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, oh yeah, and there's some big bicombs that got put in here too, which are fun. So as I'm doing with all of this, I'm completing it fully from the top down, and because I stitch in hand, I can get away with that because I'm not gonna worry about crunching them, the beads. So I can go ahead and add all the sparkle right away. So that's fun. So today I'll get to bead and stitch some more snow probably, because the it's not very easy to get the cover out. Underneath this row is I'll probably pick my symbols from the top down just because it's makes the neatest stitches for me. And so I'll do all this snow along the top here before I start picking out the browns. And all the snow is silk lame braid, which is really fun to work with. It's sparkly, but doesn't fray like metallic usually does, because it's a silk thread with like a little blending filament, I guess, kind of woven into it. That reminds me, I was going to show you, I brought up my bag of goodies that I use for my chatelaine. So this is literally all I need that's not DMC, is right here in this sandwich bag. So this is a good chatelaine if you want to try one and have it not be crazy. And I know there's a few other ones out there that are smaller and have less upfront cost. Some of them are quite expensive. This one was not that much. It called for petite treasure braid, and when I was kitting this up at my local needle point store, they didn't actually have regular gold petite treasure braid because they had regular treasure braid for needle point, not the petite kind. So they recommended this is an accentuate blending filament. So I've been using this, and I usually use one strand for like the specialty stitches, the eyelets I'm doing this past time. But if it needs a full cross, I'm using 2 strands just to make it thicker. This is the little bead pack I got from a European cross stitch. They have it all labeled what beads they are. They put the name of the pattern. It also comes with some, you can see them through there, a couple beading needles, which is fun. So that's really cool. They're so pretty. And then the silk lame braid, I think I had like 3 cards of these. One of these cards is either empty or still in my frosted pumpkin under the sea club, because I stole 1 card for that. I may need to go check that if I, and then there were 2 variegated silks, one Gloriana and one Dinky Dyes. So I got each of those because they were variegated, so I thought it was worth it. And everything else is DMC. So charted for DMC. It's not like some things where it's charted for a solid silk. It was charted for DMC. So super, super nice and easy to kit up. So I am enjoying that. then Seasonal Sunday rolled around and I worked on my winter floral cross. Thankfully, I had some time on this. My parents were visiting, but they wanted an afternoon nap, so I went ahead and pulled this out for a few minutes and got, I think, 2 lengths of cross stitch, 1 length of back stitch. And so since I'm using the kit floss, I think it's all cut for 1 yard, and I'm doing the loop start on my cross stitching. So there were 2 like 18-inch lengths of cross stitches and 1 full yard of back stitching because it was a single strand of back stitching, so I just used 1 and it was long. So all the kit things. This is on the kit Ada, which is green, light green, 14 count Ada. And here's this one. And 2/1 full cross for everything. 1 strand of back stitch for everything. Pretty basic. So that's kind of a close-up of what I worked on. I worked on some of these more browny green colors here in the middle, and then I did the 1 strand to kind of make the rest of these look more pointy, like they're holly leaves, to do the back stitching around there. So not a ton of work, but something. This will come out again this Sunday, so hopefully I'll get a little bit more time on it this Sunday, because it should be a fairly laid back Sunday. So 1 more day on this, and then the second 2 Sundays of March I'll work on spring cross to get a couple Sundays on each of them. And then Monday, my main piece was my husband's piece, which I managed to get some time on. It wasn't a lot. This is this one, a no longer available one I found on eBay, and he was busy in the evening, so I wasn't worried about him coming in to see it, which was nice. But I think the section I was working on was at fault mostly for not getting very many stitches. I got 138 stitches, not a lot. You may not even be able to tell. They were confetti stitches along the edges of things. I was tempted to go pick a solid color at some point and to be able to have something to fill in, to be more obvious, get more stitches, that sort of thing. But one of the next colors I chose had quite a few stitches along the edge, and so I'm like, yeah, I'll just stick with that. So that's what I did. Here is this one. This is 1/1 half stitches on 40 count vertical, just like my Bear Time stories. And I'm over here in this 10x10 block picking symbols, and so a lot of them were the confetti stitches around Homer's hair that had not yet been stitched. So there was one of them actually was a pale blue 3756, I think, that got filled in here and a little bit here. So those white patches of the paper that they're busting out of have been filled in more. It's just hard to tell. And then some more edge stitches happened in their hands and in Homer's face. And a little bit down here, actually. There was like 1 or 2 here and there. So anyways, there's that. I will bring that out again next month. I have this one slotted for the first Monday every month, so it'll come out again on April 3rd, barring a change of plans. So that's the plan. And I think that's all I worked on, so that's fun. This coming week will be more of the same. I'll work on Winter Wonderland band sampler for 5 days, then my winter cross, and then I'll come back. So my travel pieces and things, so not a whole lot of variety this week, but I'm excited to see how far I can get on my shadowing. So I have a couple things that I forgot to show at the beginning, like I usually do, but I have some acquisitions, I guess. One is from the Fat Quarter Shop. Actually, maybe I'll show my other things first. So I got a sweet card from Desiree. She made herself. This is from Desiree. Formerly, her channel was called The Addicted Stitcher. Now she's changed it to the Topsy Turvy Crafter, I believe. So if you see her commenting as that name, that's who that is. But she's taken to a lot of card making lately, which is really fun. So this is like an embossed paper back here, which is really fun. Plus all the layers of die cut flowers. Very pretty. So thank you, Desiree. That made my day. I was also gifted a pattern out of a magazine from someone who saw it and thought of me, which is very sweet. It's from this old magazine, which I don't know what year it is. I don't know. It doesn't really say. Issue 44, but it doesn't say what year. This is from New Stitches, and it's this one right here. And she thought of me, which was very true. It reminds me a little bit of one that I got off of AliExpress a while back that I haven't started yet. So I'll have to check and see the differences there. But she realized once she pulled it out that it's actually part 2. And there's another section over here that's got more ladies. Let's see, which you can see here is the full one. So at some point it might be fun to find that half and do the whole thing. There's also this bell pull. She left in the pattern for that. So that's really fun because it has lots of specialty stitches. So yeah, so thank you so much. That was really fun. It's nice to have people think of you because they know your tastes. And I'm a sucker for a lady in a fancy dress. So I also got the latest Stitch Quarterly from the Fat Quarter Shop. So if you haven't gotten yours yet, maybe you want to skip forward a couple minutes. I have one more thing after that to talk about. So here's the project bag they sent, which gives a hint about what the pattern is. It's Blooming Beautiful, which is their March Stitch Quarterly, with all the goodies. So that's really fun. It comes with this cross stitch pattern, which as you can see is a lot like the bag. And that's really pretty. They have it made into this pillow, which is kind of an old-fashioned look, because it's an old-fashioned design, it feels like. But there's a matching needle minder, which is pretty. This luggage tag, which is it's got a little latch here. It's meant for putting on the project bag. You write your project on here and then use this as a project bag tag. It's called the Jolly tag. So that's cute. And then the fabric and DMC to make the design. And this is Fiber on a Whim, hand-dyed 14 count Aida in cream and sugar. And this is a very pale cream. It's not particularly mottled, but it's very soft. So if you are an Aida stitcher who likes soft fabric, Fiber on a Whim is probably a good one to try, along with Picture This Plus, I've heard is soft as well, but this is really soft. So unlike the kit Aida that I've been using on a couple of these, this is nice. So that's fun. Oh, and it comes with a needle as well. So I also was contacted by Lindsay over at Blushing Pink Stitches, and she has a Flosstube channel, which is really nice, and she's on Instagram. She has a lot of similar projects to me. Her taste is similar. She does a lot of full coverage. She's doing flea market flowers too, I think. Stitching shelf, things like that. So she contacted me because she has an Etsy shop where she's selling full coverage patterns that she is licensing from new artists that aren't already being charted into designs elsewhere. She also sells floss drops and floss cards. I think there's some that, can't remember honestly, sorry Lindsay, but I think there's some that are the floss drops and then floss cards with like multiple punches in them, I think. That she has like the images of some of the artwork that she's licensing on the floss drops, which is kind of fun. So she offered me a chart so I could show it on here as kind of a way to help support her business. The more I looked at it, the more I really wanted to start it. My original thought was, I don't have room in my plans for another full coverage start. I'm starting one full coverage in September, but I think I want to start this one too. So this is Her Journey by Megan Walsh, charted by Blushing Pink Stitches. And the more I looked at it, the more I really want to start this. It's not really something I'd normally drawn to, but I do love bright colors. Pinks and blues are my favorite. And this top corner where I'd be starting is pinks and blues. So it is quite large. 700 by 502. So I calculated out, and it'd be a little too big for a fat quarter on 28 count. So I went and bought a piece of 40 count to put this on, and it's on its way from me to me. So I'm ready to go pretty soon, as soon as it starts. So I'm not sure when I'll start it, but I want to try to maybe on a month like March, if there's extra days in the month and I finish my planned, things, that's going to come out, I think. But yeah, the fabric's not here yet, but I ordered some from the shop called Cross Stitching Supplies, and she's sadly going out of business this year sometime later, and I like her products, I like her prices, and I like that if you get, I think, $30, you get free US shipping. So I bought the 40 count fabric for this, threw in another piece of fabric and a couple of DMCs just to get up over the $30. So I'll show you that when it comes in. She's running a little bit behind. I think there's a note on the website that says there's like a 10-day turnaround for orders, probably because a lot of people are buying things knowing she's going out of business soon. So so there's things that are still there, but it's not being restocked, that kind of thing. So I bought that, so it's on its way. Maybe in another week or two I'll have that to show you. Yeah, and we'll see how long I can wait before I start that. But that's the plan for that one. I think that's everything I have to share this week. I am looking forward to working on my chatelaine, getting that at least close to a finish. That'll be really nice. And I can say goodbye to Smokey, having a nice nap over there. And with that, I wish you a wonderful week and happy stitching.